Hi guys, Ozan here from Model Creator for another video. And before we actually start on the main topic, which is the painted prototypes, I have some exciting news. And that is that on Monday, in 4 days, on March 14th, we are starting our crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter. So please, if you find Model Creator a viable, interesting platform that can help you with your miniature modeling, please head there and pledge and support us, and then we can go from there. And I think it's for everyone's benefit and joy and happiness. And now, time to tackle the prototypes, which we had painted, and we've done a small story for each. There are 6 in total, and I hope you find them pretty and also stories interesting and funny in some cases. The first prototype we had painted was of the Taliban model, and the story goes like this. Azim was a revered warrior, but at the same time a bit of a mystery among his clan. No one could understand why he never shot his gun at wedding parties, like any other self-respecting fighter would. Finally, they asked him why, and his answer was simple. He could just not find enough 5.56 ammo, and therefore could not spare any. This text was inspired by all the short YouTube clips of guys shooting their AKs on weddings in the Middle East, Afghanistan, Pakistan, and so forth, and often with not so great results in terms of casualties and the grief. But we could not resist. The second model we had painted was the model of our very first prototype, and this model was not based on any historical unit or anything, so we decided to have a bit of a funny story associated with it. Tom is an actor, but alcohol and gambling have affected his career, so now he only acts in B movies, and we all know it's all about gore and not historical accuracy. His latest act was brief, however, the images of his violent execution have touched many. It was a typical Fire Force reaction operations for the Saints. G-Car dropped David's stick at the location where Zandla guerrillas were spotted. But how reliable was the information? For those who do not know, the Saints was the nickname for the Rhodesian light infantry. The G-Car was the name for the helicopter that would send them into the bush. And Stick was the base unit in which they operated. James has just heard that his brother Joshua was killed in a skirmish with the rebels 4 months ago. News traveled slowly in those days. He was torn between grief and revenge, and now he had his opportunity for the latter. While we are focusing on 20th century units to start with, and for the Kickstarter campaign that's about to commence, and soon as we are satisfied with the range of those, we will be expanding into the 19th century, and definitely first on the list will be the American Civil War and the Wild West, and then probably the Napoleonic Wars. This is Johann, but he could also be Istvan, Jan, Jovan, or Ivan. It is late summer 1914, and he is sent to Galicia, where austro-hungarian army is fighting the Russians. This model in some ways was inspired actually by my grandfather, who served in the Austro-Hungarian Imperial Army, where he learned to read and write, and after his service was rewarded with a position on the State Railroad. Only 6 months ago, Richard was finishing high school in Mansfield, Pennsylvania. Now he was fighting for his life in some forgotten place in the middle of a jungle in Vietnam. his M16 jammed, and so Richard grabbed an AK from a dead NVA fighter. This model creator prototype actually led to an amazing story told to us by a US Marine Vietnam vet, who actually had to use the AK on several occasions when his M16 jammed. And this was not something that was done lightly, as the sound and looks of an AK would, in the chaos of battle, immediately draw a friendly fire upon the user. And the fascinating part of the story was the gentleman's father was an US Army Ordnance Inspector, and one of the first people who realized that the change of one dies in the ammunition spec was causing malfunctions, and knew that this malfunction could happen to his son, who was in Vietnam, and to other, young kids. And the poor guy suffered a stroke due to this, or a heart attack, I don't remember. Fortunately, in the end, all worked out for the son and the father, because the father survived, and the son also obviously survived and came back from Vietnam and told us this really fascinating story. Yeah, I hope you like these stories and our painted prototypes. And this is all for this video. But before we end, I will again remind you, on Monday, in 4 days, on March 14th, the Kickstarter crowdfunding campaign for Model Creators starts. And I hope you guys will support us and help us fulfill our dream and finish the platform and populate it with enough units so you guys can really enjoy using it and then building your dioramas or vignettes. So please head to Kickstarter on Monday, support us, pledge, and that's it. Thank you very much. Bye.